Revolutionary greetings, comrades. For 2 years, most of us have been working from home, thanks to COVID-19. COVID-19 taught us that you can do your work at home without going to the company premises. But of course, there are other workers, factory workers, in the hospitality industry and other sectors of the economy that need to be at the workplace. Medical practitioners, educators and others. But education has been done online, particularly in developed countries and in cities. But most people that work what we call office work, whether you work as a researcher or any other office work, you do not need, as demonstrated by COVID-19, you do not need to be in the office. In any case, during COVID-19, most buildings in city centers like in Johannesburg, in New York, in London were deserted because people were working from home. And it meant that people that have been renting apartments or moved to stay closer to work had to go back to the countryside because there was no need for them to be in the company premises to do their work. What does this mean? Because it's something that we have done in the last 2 years. But what does this mean as COVID restrictions are being removed? It means you can continue working from home if you were working from home without necessarily going to the company premises for you to do your work. It means you can work in Bulawayo in Harare while employed by a company in South Africa, working for Vodacom, a South African company, working from your home in Waterfalls in Harare or in Hillside in Bulawayo. You do staff meetings online, as we were doing during hard lockdown. So that's something that we learned under COVID-19 during the lockdown. So as part of the fourth industrial revolution, is that we do not have to congregate in cities for us to work. What we need is access to internet so that you continue doing your work. I can set up my office in the village. The key thing is that I should have access to power and access to internet. And I do my job. After work, I go and look after my cake. That's what it means. So, migration itself, in the context of South Africa, we're talking of internal migration, moving from Eastern Cape, Limpopo, KZN, Northern Cape, all over, to congregate in Johannesburg because you are employed in Johannesburg. And you are doing office work. But during the hard lockdown, You were working for your Johannesburg-based company, working from home in Wanongoma, and there were no problems. And the meetings were being held online. And this can continue. So these are the things that companies can continue implementing, that people should work from home, those that are able to work from home. But like I said, there are other workers or other sectors of the economy where you ought to be at the workplace for you to do your work. But there are some who don't have to be in the office. It means that if you are a ZEP holder and you can't move to another visa, your company can still keep you, even if you are in Bulawayo, because what is key is that you are working. If the nature of work that you do does not require you to be in the company premises, yes, you can then deal later with the issues of you, what labor says and so forth. But the key thing is that you do your work. If you're a researcher, you don't need to be going to the company premises on a daily basis. You can do your research work for Wits University while you're in Gate. A colleague of mine was telling me, that is an economist, was telling me that he consulted for a company that is in the United States. He will be at his home in Midrand. He's employed by that company in the United States, but doesn't have to go to the United States for him to do his job. He simply wakes up in the morning, gets into his home office in Midrand, does his work. Of course, there's a different time zone, so he has to align with the time zone of the United States. In some cities, we are 9 hours behind or 6 hours behind. So he has to align with the time so that he can then do his work, be able to attend those meetings online, virtually. And the work gets done. So we need to think about these things and the advantages of working from home. If your company does not necessarily need you to be in the premises, or the nature of your work does not require you to be at the company premises, we eliminate traffic jam. Someone lives in Four Ways, works in Central Joburg, CBD. Every morning you have to drive from Four Ways to come and sit in an office in Central Joburg, something that you can do when you're home. You have access to internet at your home. You are simply coming to the office just for your bosses to see you that you are there, you are in the office. But you can submit your job, your work, while you are in Four Ways at your home, instead of you driving from Four Ways every day, burning fuel to the CBD. So some still continue to work from home. So it means, therefore, that we eliminate traffic. You don't have to spend time on traffic. You save on fuel. Fuel is expensive these days. Remember, there was national shutdown on the 24th. So you save on transport costs. Yes, of course, the landlords will suffer, because if a few people are in offices, so they will not be able to collect revenue. But if you are familiar with the Johannesburg CBD, you will realize that most buildings are being turned into student apartments. right? So we need to think about all these things. So you can work for a company in Bulawayo while you're in your village in Cholocho, but you're working for a company in Bulawayo. Or you're employed by a company that is in Harare. You don't have to go you don't have to be in the company premises in Harare every day. But you can do your job while you are in Chimanimani. What is key is that you must have access to power, access to internet. Which therefore means there is need to intensify the installation of internet. I was in my village, I was struggling with the network. I had to climb on a hill for me to get network. Under such conditions or in that environment, you cannot work. But if there's access to internet and you are doing office work, you simply work from home, you can consult anyone. As long as the person is on internet, you are a consultant on immigration, you are a consultant, an economist, a consultant, whatever job you do, you simply consult online. We have access to WhatsApp, everything. That's what we should be thinking about. But of course, like I'm saying, that the advantage being that you decongest the city, but obviously other people are going to lose jobs. If you have now few vehicles that are traveling, it means that fuel stations are going to be reduced and people are going to lose jobs. These are the things that we must think about, to say it might not be necessary for us to move to big cities for the purposes of working. In the cities, in most cases, not in most cases, it is expensive to live in a big city, very expensive. So you can work for MTN instead of you being in their offices, whether they are in Sandton or wherever in Sandton around that area, Morningside. But you can be in your village in Eastern Cape or in Limpopo, submitting your work, working from home. So what do you think? Does your work allow you to work from home? Or you need to be in the company premises on daily basis? Can you consult or can you do work for a company that is based in the United Kingdom when yourself you are based in Soweto? Please share with us your views, the nature of the work that you do. But like I said, that if you are working as a driver, certainly you have to be behind the wheel. You can't avoid it. If you are working in a restaurant, you have to be in the premises, right? But there are other jobs. Like I'm saying, if you are a consultant, you are a researcher, and the other jobs, you can actually do, even if you are working for a bank. I've seen a number of banks are closing their branches, like Standard Bank. You struggle to get Standard Bank in Standard Bank in Central Joburg. If you want to go inside the bank, you actually struggle to go inside the bank because they have been closing down a number of their branches. So please share your views with us. Let's have this conversation. Please circulate this video. Kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel, and thank you so much to those that have subscribed. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Goodbye.